Councilwoman Selby,
Present.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Present.
Supervisor Keating.
Present.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Present.
Councilwoman Martin.
Present.
Supervisor Keating, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and opening prayer. You have the floor.
Let us take a moment and put ourselves in the God's holy presence. As we pray together, Lord, we thank you for your many and abundant blessings, for life itself, and for our callings to serve our people. We thank you for the ability to be involved in this most important and useful work, for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. We thank you, Lord, for our freedom. I pray for all of our leaders, for this assembled council, and I ask that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of welfare and true needs of our people, to grant them a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, and the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement. Blessed are you, Lord, of all creation, whose goodness fills our hearts with joy. Blessed are you, who brought us together to do this day's work in harmony and peace. Strengthen us with your grace and wisdom always, for you are God forever and ever. Amen.
All right, we do not have any other preliminary matters tonight, so moving on to regular two for our regular business is the consideration of fund bills. And Councilman Cardicchini, would you like to take the fund bills tonight?
Sure.
I've reviewed the fund bills that are on the table for this evening, and I make a motion that we pass them in the amount of $104,000, $104,606.93.
Second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, moving along, item number 3 is our correspondence for tonight. There are 6 items for correspondence. First item, these have all been received and filed in the town clerk's office. The first item is the dog control officer report for August 2023. The second item is the town clerk's report for August 2023. The third item is the August 2023 income statement to from my departments to the board members. Number 4 is the August 2023 cash balances to the board. Item number 5 is the interest analysis from up to September 15th, 2023. And item 6 is the Town of Boston bond anticipation note sales results. Again, all received and filed in the town clerk's office. Moving on to the new business. Our request from the floor. If there are any comments from the public, please go up to the floor, state your name, your address, and 3 minutes each.
Richard Hawkins, 6892 Pin Oak Drive in Boston. I'm sure the topic that I have to bring up tonight is not going to be pleasant for some. For me, I think it's all of you that were elected to represent everybody in the town of Boston. Every week, or every month, every twice a month that you meet, you have to make some decisions. Some decisions you all agree with, some decisions there's a difference of opinion, which is our God-given rights to have our own opinions on something. I left as a deputy supervisor at the end of June. There was a topic going on then which has to do with Mr. Telak, and it has to do with the emblem for his truck. I know Bob doesn't want it on there, but everything, and I know you have talked to him several times, I know you set a resolution to try to solve that, but I believe every past supervisor, highway superintendent in this town has had a plaque on it. I think if you look at everything in this building, including the chairs that we sit on. In the back of them, there's a tag that says Town of Boston. Our computers, everything that we have in the town. And all I'm saying is, I think Mr. Telak should have that sign on there. I don't know why the reason is that he doesn't. But the point is, I think you're allowing to set a precedent that the next highway superintendent, I know Bob's gonna have 20 years in pretty soon, and he may decide that enough is enough. He's had all he wants to do with politics and everything else, and the decisions of it. But the next supervisor that comes in also may say, well, guess what? You didn't make Mr. Telak put the sign on his truck when he had it, so why do I have to? And I think we're setting a precedent that once we open up that door, we're opening it up to allow anybody else that wants to do it. That's why we set up rules, regulations, and different things so everybody has the same standard to go by. And once we start altering those standards, I believe we become a problem. I become difficult. So all I'm asking is, I'm hoping that you can come to some type of resolution or some type of a situation. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know, and maybe Bob can tell me why he doesn't feel that that emblem, because I believe the taxpayers paid for that truck. So it's not yours, it's not mine, it's the taxpayers and everybody's, it's not Bob's. It's got Bob's to use while he's doing his highway job or anything else, and he does a good job at that. I'm not denying that he doesn't. I'm just saying that I think a little emblem on the tag of the truck, it should be there to notify, let people know that that's the Town of Boston's truck. Thank you.
I was gonna answer your questions during my report, but I'll answer now since you're up there.
Thank you.
But back in 2019, the Town of Hamburg Highway Superintendent took the Town of Hamburg to court on the same issue. State Supreme Court, Frank Sedita, ruled that if that truck is bought with highway money, it's under my jurisdiction and duty to take care of that truck. And the judge made a ruling that the town board cannot make anybody put the decal on the truck, GPS in the truck, or anything else on the truck. If the general fund wants to buy the truck, then the town can have the sticker on the door. That's all I got to say. I'm just following the judge's ruling.
And that's all, that's why I asked,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not here to cause a problem, I'm just asking the reason why and stuff. So
Well,
thank you for your.
You called me before, you wanted to talk to me about it, you should have called me, and I could give you the judge's ruling.
Bob, I believe you,
Okay.
okay? I'm not trying to just say that you don't.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Mitch Tucker, Chair of the Conservation Advisory Council here at Town of Boston, so 8500 Boston State Road. I just want to give an update from the CAC. We had our annual LEAF event on September 9th. It was well received, well attended. We don't have official counts yet, but we know that over 100 people came and attended, participated in the event. We just want to thank all of our participating vendors and all of our community members that came out to show support for that event. Thank you. All right, no comment, the floor is closed, and we'll move on to item number 2, is the public hearing for the special use permit for a filling station located at 7072 Boston State Road. And the public hearing reads as follows. Please take notice that the Town of Boston Town Board has scheduled a public hearing at 7:35 p.m. at September 20th, 2023 at Boston Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road, Boston, New York, to consider the application for a special use permit for a filling station located at 7072 Boston State Road, Town of Boston. At this hearing, at the time and place noted above, all persons interested in the matter shall be heard for either against or for special use permit. Written comments or objections may be filed with the town clerk until 4 p.m. on September 20th, 2023. This publication was dated on August 23rd, 2023, published September 8th, 2023. By the order of the town board, Sandra L. Quinlan, town clerk, excuse me. We are an equal opportunity employer. I also want to note for the record, for the public hearing, that there was correspondence received this afternoon from the Loeffler Keenan Law Firm. All board members and town clerk are in receipt of said documentation and have had the opportunity to review. So I will open the floor for the public hearing.
You want to face this towards you guys or towards the audience?
Yeah, the audience probably. Yeah, we've seen quite a bit of the documentation.
Then I can see it also.
Yep, thanks.
Good evening, I'm Chris Wood with Kermian Wood Design, we're the engineers for the project. Also with me is Ray Miranda, he's the owner of the project. Again, we're here tonight for the special use permit public hearing for the filling station. I'll go through briefly some of the highlights of the site, not all related to the filling station, but just a quick overview. The site is 2.65 acres, it's currently zoned C1, which allows the filling station with a special use permit. We're also proposing a 5,183 square foot C-store, which contains a Tim Hortons with drive-through, and also a 5,000 square foot office building on site. We have 55 parking spaces, 54 required by code. We also have 2 reservoir spaces for each pump. That's part of the special use permit requirement. We have approximately 13 drive-through stacking spaces before it would stack into the fueling area for drive aisle. We do have the ability to stack more than 20 cars before it would make it into Boston State Road. We did prepare a traffic study. The original traffic study was prepared in December 6th of '22, and again revised in January of '23, and then revised for a second time in August of '23, all based on comments from the DOT. And as a result of that traffic study, we are proposing some off-site road improvements, a left turn lane into the site, a right turn lane into the site, and also some improvements to the 219 off-ramp intersection. Again, we're here for the special use permit tonight, and there are some criteria I just want to go over briefly for that special use permit for the filling station. No part of the building used as a filling station can be within 300 feet of a school, church, playground, park in our district, and also cannot be erected within 25 feet of an R district boundary. We're not anywhere close to an R district boundary, so that wouldn't apply. No gasoline, oil pump, no oiling, greasing mechanism, or other service appliance shall be installed in connection with filling station or public garage within 20 feet of street line. We are set back more than 20 feet. The 2 reservoir spaces are required at each pump. We have 2 at each pump. Storage of gasoline shall be in underground tanks. Obviously, that's what we're proposing. There shall be no use of the lot except for landscaping and screening within 20 feet of an R district boundary or lot used for residential purposes. We do exceed the 20 feet. There's no R district within several hundred feet of our property. And all portions of the lot not enclosed in a building and or used for reservoir space for storage, parking, or servicing of a motor vehicle shall be subject to provisions of 123-20 of this chapter. We do meet that also. That's all 5 criteria, or actually 6 criteria, and the project that we're proposing meets or exceeds all of those criteria. If anybody has any other general questions, we have been to the planning board a few times. They did recommend a positive recommendation on the special use permit in addition to the site plan a couple weeks ago. If anybody has any questions, I can answer them. Now we can hear from the public.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
How many phases is that going to be completed?
One,
One?
most likely.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Matthew Lawford. I'm here today on the bequest of my client, Boston Valley Capital. They are the adjacent property owners to the premises at hand. And my client has asked me to come tonight to express his concerns about the impacts that this project will have on the project. In no way is he adverse to any development. He just wants to make sure it's done in light of safety concerns and environmental concerns. In furtherance of that, he has reached out to D. Donato, and they have provided a letter after the review of the traffic study. And I provided that, as you mentioned before, to everyone on the board, including Mr. Hopkins, the attorney for the applicant. I just asked, and my client asked, that those concerns are addressed prior to any board approval. And again, we're not against development, we just want to make sure it's done in a way where we're protecting the environment, protecting the safety of the community at large, and nothing's really pushed along in haste. Also, again, he wanted me to reiterate the fact that he's concerned about the gas station being so close to a waterway, that is the waterway that borders the property. Every once in a while, you see the news pop up about leaks and so on and so forth, and he is concerned about the potential leaks hazard to the waterway around the property itself. Thank you for your consideration, everyone.
Thank you. My name is Mitch Tucker. I'm the chair of the Conservation Advisory Council here at the town of Boston. I just want to appreciate to hear that we have community members that are concerned about environmental issues in the town, and I really am happy to hear that there are concerns and people that have environmental issues on their mind. I do want to say that the Conservation Advisory Council has not been contacted by the adjacent property owner and has not expressed any environmental concerns to the Conservation Advisory Council. I welcome any communication from them. If the Conservation Advisory Council could help out in any way, I definitely am concerned about water quality issues as well, but my understanding is that New York State puts in pretty stringent requirements on filling stations and such. So that's what I have to say about that. Thank you. All right. No further comment. I'll make a motion to open up the floor, so I will close the floor with no further comment for the public hearing. Or I'm sorry, you know what? Yeah.
Mr. Supervisor, it may be advisable to leave this public hearing open in order to allow time for the applicant to respond in writing to the comments received late today from the adjacent property owner, including comments regarding the applicant's traffic study prior to the October 4 board meeting.
Okay. All right, so I would like to make a motion to leave the public hearing open to respond to comments.
Second. Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek? Yes. Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, moving along, item number 3 tonight under new business is a resolution number 2023-76 to award a generator bid. And Councilman Lukacek, would you like to take that item tonight?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. Awarding for the town hall generator project. The town engineer notes that the low bid for the project was from Industrial Power and Lighting Corp., the amount of $222,400, and notes that the low bid meets the project's requirements, that the bidder has satisfied all conditions related to timeline, financial stability, technical capability, past performance, and recommends the award of a contract. So I make a motion that we award Industrial Power and Lighting Corp. for the installation of a natural gas generator for emergency power to town hall and associated work and equipment for an amount not to exceed that firm's bid amount of $222,400.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, item number 4 under new business, I'd like to make a motion to table that item. This was for an updated use facilities agreement for 2024 for sports contracts. The town board's looking at separating those from the standard use facility. With some discussion downstairs, actually been kind of going back and forth. I'd like to make a motion to table that so we can wrap up a few additional items on there.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Last one is item number 5 under new business is a application for use facility for the summer concert series for 2024. And Councilman Martin, would you like to take that item?
Certainly, Supervisor. We received an application for a use of facility for the Town of Boston Summer Concert Series from the Town of Boston Event Coordinator Allison Kozer. There is a listing of dates on here. Madam Clerk, are these dates available to be used for the line shelter?
Yes, they are. Town events take priority, so those are counted.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. This is to use parking and line shelter for the concert series. I make a motion to approve this use of facility. I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Carter-Keeney?
Yes, and might I add, I'm super impressed at how organized that application is. She's really looking far out. That's great to see.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, one item under old business tonight. The town board had some discussion downstairs last night, and the town board would like, I'd like to make a motion to appoint an assessment clerk for our assessor's office in the amount of $18.97 per hour.
A second.
Are you
Are
going
you
to
gonna
say who
name
that
her?
is?
Oh, yeah, geez. Good.
Wait a minute.
You know what, and I'm looking, I don't have, here you go, yeah, you have, of course I do. Oh, my paper downstairs.
I just need to know who I need to
Stacy
call
Myers.
in to come
Stacy
and
Myers is the
take
name.
the oath.
Stacy Myers.
Okay, thank
Sitting
you.
on his, thank you, Councilman, you're welcome, sorry about that.
Supervisor Keating made the motion.
I second.
Thank you. Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Carter-Keeney?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, moving on to reports and presentations, Highway Superintendent, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Our September brush pickup ended yesterday, the 19th. Every road was done once. We will start again on October 1st. Every road was done again in October. The Keller Road paving project is pretty much done and complete. Shoulder work is done. It turned out really nice if anybody wants to take a ride. As far as our town roads, as far as the Town of Boston roads that the town owns, are in the best shape they've ever been, in my opinion. Other than that, on the town truck, there is plates on the front and back of the truck that both say Town of Boston on it, which you take off and you get rid of. The last truck, when we took the seals off the door, we had to have the doors touched up because we got the big circles on them. Cost $500 of taxpayers' money to fix the doors. And other than that, that's all I have tonight.
All right, thank you very much. And Councilwoman Selby, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have no report tonight.
Okay. Councilman Carter-Keeney, you have the floor.
Thank you, Supervisor. I'd like to thank the board for allowing for the time to work with the sports organizations to, craft a workable solution for our use of facilities specific to sports. And I'd like to thank Bob for doing some legwork on getting some costs for me. Going to be looking forward to reaching out to Scott and hearing some of the needs firsthand. But we will be bringing everybody together to find a workable, cost-effective solution for everyone involved, so that we can, keep the sports affordable for all the kids that play and parents that support these leagues, as well as all the volunteers. Just like the planning board and the zoning board and the CAC, these organizations are not-for-profit, made up 100% by volunteers. And their work does not go unnoticed. So I would like to thank the board for the opportunity to table that agenda item tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to get this done sooner rather than later. That's all I have tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Councilwoman Lukacek, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Short and sweet. I have nothing. Enjoy the nice weather we have tonight.
All right, Councilwoman Martin, you have the floor.
I'm gonna say the same thing the girls did. Ditto, I have nothing to report.
All right, Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Thank you. I do have items to report tonight. The Town Clerk's office has had a very busy summer, researching documents for town projects that have been going on, Freedom of Information request, vital records request, death certificates, marriage licenses, DEC sportsman licenses, And the deadline for the doe permits is October 1st. Hunters seem to be relatively happy with the number of deer permits that have been issued this year by the DEC. Our dog control officer is doing a wonderful job of notifying residents to license and renew their dogs. And code enforcement office has issued approximately 135 building permits so far this year. So we have been very, very busy, which is great. I think every department is just stepping it up just a little bit more with everything that we have going on. Hopefully, we've worked through the scheduling issue with Waste Management for bulk item pickups for our residents. Scheduling can be done online through WM.com, or the phone number is 800-972-4545. And I do have some of these guides from Waste Management. So if you don't have one, or if you know someone who needs one, please come into the clerk's office. We will happily supply you one of those. Our next Connect Life blood drive will be October 3rd in the community room from 2 to 7. And there is a little bit of a carrot this time for that. For donating at that blood drive, there will be a drawing for 8 Ellicottville staycation packages. So
Nice.
we can't give again in October, Mike. We'll have to wait till the next time, and I'm not think we'll have that. So, and we're working with Legislator Mills' office to set a home energy assistance program outreach. That's HEAP. That will be in early December. When that is scheduled, the information will be available at the town hall and at the website, and we will put up the flyers around town also. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just have a few things tonight. The comprehensive plan, you're going to continue to hear me talk about that, but the committees that are there, the outreach committee and the comprehensive plan committee, our meetings are time boxed to an hour. We've been easily hitting the 2-hour mark on these meetings. It's been fantastic dialogue, a lot of great feedback, but there is a survey. I'm going to keep bringing it up because we're looking to get the public's feedback. Because again, as you heard me say at the last meeting, I'll say it again, this is the public's comprehensive plan. It's not the town board's plan. It's not the planning board's plan. This is the public. This is the citizens. So please fill out the survey. There is a hard copy. There is an electronic copy. So you have 2 ways. There is a kind of an idea board out in the town hall in the front vestibule that people can fill out. But we are looking for that community engagement at the LEAF event that the Conservation Advisory Council put on. There are people there assisting with that, but it was very well received. I've heard positive feedback, as have some of our other additional members. So. Please engage with this, because we are looking to see what do we want the town of Boston to look like in the next 5, 10, 15 years. Obviously, there's a lot of things on the horizon, we'll say, but we need to be proactive versus reactive to some of these topics. So that's the comprehensive plan. The Erie County Sheriff's Office, the Boys and Girls Club here, and then also Bert's Bikes. We partnered with a bike rodeo. It hasn't been done in a while with the Sheriff's Office, but that was just yesterday. Resident Linda Schooley, she was the person who reached out to all of us, but it was kind of her idea, so certainly happy to give her credit. She stopped by the office this morning, and it was great. 17 children showed up. We're hoping to have another spring event. It was right behind Town Hall. The weather held out for us. It was a nice sunny day. Bert's Bikes had a great time, and the kids had a great time riding on some of the bikes that Bert's had brought over. So stay tuned for a spring event on that one. Back Creek Road slide, just an update there. There is, if you look at the correspondence over the past couple of meetings, there's been some concern with what's happening to the soil over there. At least as of tonight's meeting, there's approximately a roughly 1.5 to 2 inch wide crack that's there, and it's almost 12 inches deep. There has been a GPS located, they call them cans, but the GPS locators, the board had the opportunity to look at it. That information will be part of correspondence at the October meeting, the first meeting in October, so the public can see this, or they can call my office for it. But anyway, it measures the actual shifting in the soil. So far, since it was identified, or that crack was identified, there has been no change. That's the good news. But respectfully, the engineers, Erie County, we had at our meeting this week, they're pumping the brakes on this just a little bit for completion, because they want to make sure that the soil's in fact stable, that before they go and put the guardrail in, the asphalt in, and all that soil's in fact intact. So that's the biggest takeaway from that meeting. Other than that, everything else, it's pretty much on schedule. It's just that if it wasn't for whatever's happening over there with that soil. It could be just the fact that so much soil is brought in. You know, you're dealing with the side of the hill, you're trying to stabilize that, and it could be a bunch of variables, but the good news is, again, not much change over the almost 2.5 weeks that it's been monitored. The CAC event, I attended that. You know, Mitch and his team there, they did a great job. My wife, daughter, and I had a great time. A lot of great vendors. It was great to see Lydia from the library, but that was a great event. It's always well attended. Just wish it didn't rain, but what are you gonna do? You gotta fight Mother Nature, just like the fishing derby time. So that's that. And on a note of waste management, that is something that the town clerk in my office has been receiving calls on, that the bulk pickup, at least what we are identifying is that there's challenges either through the website, through the phone system. We're trying to get that resolved. But just kindly, if Waste Management gives you a date that they're gonna be collecting, please don't put it out at the curb days before, or even weeks before in some cases. We're entering our fall, winter season, so with the rain and the snow, that stuff's gonna get buried. And quite frankly, it's probably not gonna get picked up because, Waste Management's not gonna go out there with a snow shovel or shovel to pick this stuff up. So please, on the day of your collection, please put it out. But we really, I thank Tom Clerk and her staff because they spent a lot of time with Waste Management on this, and hopefully we can get that resolved for our community. I will also toss out a plug for the Waste Management At Your Door program because we are getting, I hate to say snow blowers ready, but snow blowers, we're getting that season ready. If you're changing to oil and you need a place to get rid of it, yes, we have auto repair shops in our community that do take that at no charge. But also you're paying for a Waste Management At Your Door program. Call the 800 number, but have it in the label container. All the details are on the town website for the At Your Door program. Any household hazardous waste, whether it's hydraulic oil, old gasoline, etc., that can all be picked up at your home. You put it out before you go to work. Chances are it's going to be gone before you even get home. So it's a great program. It's actually something that's really growing it's actually growing a lot of traction in Erie County. So there's my plug on that. I don't have anything else to share, so I will make a motion to end the meeting at 8:15.
I'll second.
Councilman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Carabini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried, meeting adjourned.